Hey guys, how we doing? The bus is sitting on all fours. I got some rubber for it, and poked around a little bit on Craigslist, couldn't find anything, so I went to a couple of the local scrapyard, junkyards, auto recycling facility, and picked up a set of tires. They are Toyo Spectrums, something, 205 75R 14s. 95S is what the code is, and it says mud and snow tire, but look at the tread. It's pretty good for the highway. $80 for the set of 4. I put them on the other day, and the car's off the lift. I went through the body with 1500, then 2000 grit, and then I hit it with that Perfect It buffer, and kind of brought the paint out whatever I could. There's boo-boos on it, but you know, so what? Right now I just got done, there was a couple of overspray spots in the door jambs down below. I kind of just whited them out, so that's why the doors are open drying. And I'm just kind of letting it kind of cure up some more. Get back far enough. It's like almost a takeoff. And then there was some on this side. So I just clean that up. That seal's going to go right over that little red, so I'm not worried about that one. So that's where this guy is. I'm going to keep picking away at it a little bit more. I got to get all the gauges and everything back in it. I sprayed in the engine compartment too, so where the battery sits is wet right now. So I'm going to let that cure up, and I can put all the mechanicals back together so I can start up driving it in and out of the garage. Get it off the lift and moved over. But that's that guy. And there's this guy. This is a, I guess we're going to call it a kit car. It is a kit car, but it's made by a company. It's not one that you bought and they shipped it to your house and you put it together. This is actually a factory in, I believe it was Canada. Done in 1986. They used 1974 Beetle parts. And the only thing they really used of the Beetle was the engine and the trans and a little piece of the tunnel. It doesn't use the floor pans, it doesn't use the front beam, it doesn't use any of the lights, any of that kind of stuff. You know, actually I think it does use the, I think there is bug taillights on it, but the front directionals aren't. It's got a soft top, whether that's going to actually keep any rain off you, I don't know, because you could see through it in quite a few places. Yeah, it's got bug taillights on it. Now you can see they accepted the offer. I'll get to that in a minute. I drove it home for about 14 miles to get home on back roads. It drives like it weighs. It weighs 1,350 pounds. It's not bad, but just when you go over the bumps, everything kind of goes right into you because there's no weight of the car to kind of counter. So the whole car just kind of moves over the road instead of the suspension kind of moving. Speaking of, one of the issues that it does have is the front springs. The front suspension is a spring over shock, and it looks like something like on a motorcycle, and they might even be adjustable, but as you can see, the front end kind of sits low. It's sitting cattywampus because it's in a hole. You can see how far that tire's up in that wheel well. You can see where that wheel well's got rubbed into. You turn the tires. They put brand new tires on the front. They said that they were too big. It's a pretty small tire. It's a 165 R15. It's a Beetle tire. So anyway, the front springs on that need to be addressed. I think they might even be adjustable. They have here's the shock. You got a clamp and a clamp, and the spring in the middle. And I think you could move the clamps closer together, and you'll lift the front end up. If not, I'll have to go get something. Excuse me. Yeah, put some light on you. Okay. If you look under there, you can actually kind of see. There's the spring. The spring looks kind of shitty. So it's all kind of looks like a homemade kind of front end, you know. The plates are, but it's thick stuff. The bottom of it's got a skid plate under it, and the frame all looks good, but there's just a pan underneath that's rotted out on the sides. They probably didn't make any drain holes in it, so that needs to be remade. But everything else is stout. The body's good. It's supposed to have a 1600 dual port motor in it, and it's only a 1500 single port, so somebody did change out the motor at one time. here's what the magazine shows. The ad. And I believe inside it was, believe it or not, it was like 1850 new. A London Roadster, 86. Yeah. This is like their how-to manual, but it looks like it was typed on a typewriter. So that's the owner's manual. And then somewhere in here was a bunch of papers of like how much stuff cost. Might be it. If you bought it as a kit, I think. Oh, this is all the individual pieces that you were able to buy at the time. So, paperwork on everywhere. And in here I think was like the dollar figures of what they cost. Yeah, the car was 1850, and then a bunch of options that you get in. It's got the radio, which is a piece of shit radio. Would you imagine paying $550 for a Spark-O-Matic? No luggage rack. It does have the fog lights. It's got the side-mounted wind wings, and no tonneau cover. I don't know if they call this a complete cover. I think a tonneau cover covers just one side of it when you're sitting in it. A monometer, whatever the monometer is. Meters when you have mono. I don't know. But does it have a soft top on it? Kind of weird. You've got to kind of close yourself into this thing when you're in it. Got a little handle on these. At least this one you can unzip the window and do it. The one on the other side's got a handle behind the wing window, so you can get yourself out of it. The body's not bad. It's fiberglass. What's really going to happen to it besides cracks, you know? I'll stick you in there. I'll stay outside here. Yeah, nice radio, huh? And they must have had a good roll of gray duct tape, because it's gray duct tape. Gray duct tape. Gray duct tape. Gray duct tape. I don't know if they realize that, yeah, I can see that the top is loose. All you got to do is just loosen this collar right here and slide this one up, and the whole thing gets tight. It's all the way at the bottom adjustment. So that's what the issue is there. That's why it's kind of sloppy, you know. But so be it. It runs pretty good. It has something that's called blow-by. Volkswagens, they don't have head gaskets, but when that area would leak, it's called blow-by. It's just the steel cylinder up against the aluminum head, and they kind of seat themselves. But when the gaskets, when it starts blowing through there, a head bolt may pull. It's common. They had a bunch of different motors that had different problems. But anyway, that's kind of what this thing is suffering from. So there was some low compression on one side, and the check for that to do is pull the rocker shafts off, valve covers off, rocker shafts off, retorque the head bolts that you can get to, and readjust the valves. You can get to half of them. You can get to the lower rack of them. But that's the needs. I haven't done anything to it besides pretty much drive it home. You're seeing it as I see it right now for a real good look over. Take a little bump on one side right here, and that should be able to get straightened out. Not that much of a problem, but it's missing one of the bumperettes. I doubt very much I'm going to be able to find that thing. So what I'm going to do is either try to find like maybe two off of a bug or something like that, and put them on, or just take them right off the back altogether, and you won't even notice it, or leave them off the front. The front's got the same ones. So one of them will be missing the two. That front bumper's tweaked a little too. Right there. well, that's what we got. And another someday project, like I need another someday project. But look at it this way. You can't die while you still got projects. It's not allowed. So that's why I could live forever. Just need to find some place to get out of the weather. Again, fortunately it's fiberglass, so not too much is going to happen to it. All right, what I paid for it. I offered $2,000 at first, and when I first saw it, then I looked at it a little bit further and saw the blow-by on the motor, and well, I offered $2,000, and 2 weeks later, as at a yard sale, they called me about 2 weeks later, said we'll take your offer, and it's okay. We set up a date next week to go look at it, which was on Tuesday. Went over Tuesday and kind of went through it, and found the problems with the motor being what it is. Everything else I had already seen. I already knew that the tin underneath was rusty, and the tweaked bumpers and the front suspension sagging. But I didn't expect a blow-by on the motor while I was running the way it was. So I offered $1,500 for it, and first they said no, then they said $1,600, and then they said yes as I was leaving. So that's what we got for $1,500. Runs, drives, and it's complete. So I really can't say that that's too bad for what it is. It's kind of funny. It reminds me of Rodney Dangerfield. What movie was that? Back to School with the teacher. Picks her up in that little car. The nerdy professor. Pressure, it's charging. There's a little fan underneath there that blows up to this vent up here, which kind of works as a frost, but there's no actual heat. It's just blowing air from the bottom and blowing it up top. Emergency brake works. Everything's here. The carpets just look like they're kind of pulling away, and they just need to be kind of glued back up on the firewall. Same thing under the what do you call that, a bonnet on this thing. This needs to be cleaned up. But here it's okay right now, but if you let it idle down, you'll hear it start loping on one cylinder. You get it kicked down. See how it goes till a miss? Again, nothing's probably been done to this thing forever. It was the woman that I got it from. She was in her early 40s. And it was her mother's car who got it on her 40th birthday, actually, new in 1986. And it's only got like 31,000 miles on it. Like, how many miles would you really fit on this thing? You imagine driving this thing like 100,000 miles? Hey. And how you can tell you got that blow-by, when you boot the gas pedal, you'll have an exhaust leak only when you're booting the gas pedal, which is the piston seal and the cylinder head opening up and the exhaust leaking right out of the cylinder, because you're making more fire and there's more pressure behind it. So we'll do some more videos on I start getting into it and taking it apart, getting suspension up. But those three things are pretty much just what it needs. The brakes seem fine, emergency brakes seem fine, all the lights seem to work. The horn doesn't work. It's got those on the outside, which I think are just kind of like a faux, and then under the grill there's a couple of those red plastic horns that probably go awooga or something like that. Alright guys, thanks for watching.